we see it all the time. Like you said, the content, but we see the facades, we see the fake images and all. And then we feel like we have to live up to that. You know, I have a 15-year-old daughter who we're walking through that with her right now, and what she sees and who she is, you know, that struggle and having those conversations. But we do it as grown women. We do it as mothers. We do it as business owners. We feel like we have to be this certain type of person, and it becomes a lie, and it becomes too hard to uphold. And that's when we sit in our car like, I can't get out because now I got to figure out how to put this new person on or take her off. You know, it's very important that authenticity is actually my number one core value for Hey Girl, Hey Health and Fitness.
Welcome back to the Balance Boldly podcast for ambitious women in business and a few brave men. I'm your host, Naketa Ren Thigpen. Excited to have you back. We are mid-season for all things work, life, and love, and we have some juicy goodness today. Are y'all ready? Are you sure? Think about it for a minute. Hold on. Get yourself together. All right. We are introducing today this magical being. Her spirit, her beauty, her smile, her energy is just as wide and deep and glorious as how she serves. I would like to introduce to you today Miss Victoria Parker, a native of Las Vegas, Nevada, a wife, a mom of 4 beautiful, wonderful, and boisterous kids, a lover of people and servant of the Lord. Victoria is an accountability coach and owner of Hey Girl, Hey Health and Fitness LLC. Y'all thought I was just saying it like that, but that's really how you say it when you do it correctly. She helps busy, ambitious moms plan and execute their wins so they can quit living in chaos and keep the promise they make to themselves. Her mission is to help women bust through mom guilt and positivity, impact the motherhood experiences for future generations over and over again, so legacy is created and deepened so they can be fulfilled in all aspects of their life and their gift. Victoria Parker, welcome to the Balance Boldly podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. Can you just introduce me every single day? I mean, you just made my whole entire day.
Stop. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
I'm gonna have to record that little section and be like, okay, just play this.
Just play this and have you walk out on stage to some music in the background.
Yes, just play this. Yes. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here.
Yeah, I adore you to the moon. For those of you who don't know, I was literally professionally stalking Victoria on Instagram. I fell in love with all things, hey girl, hey, that she was putting out. I would love for you to share with everyone a little bit about what you're doing in the world.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. So thank you so much once again for having me here. It's such an honor and a privilege. And I have been actually returning the professional stalking your way as well, and have been so inspired and just love being a part of your group. So I am an accountability coach for super dope moms, and I am on a mission to positively impact the motherhood experience for future generations. And I do that through accountability coaching, one-on-one and group coaching for women, helping them to plan out their days, to make space for their passion projects while still maintaining a lifestyle of being a mother and a wife and all the other things that life has on our plates.
I love it. I love it. What made you want to do it? Was it your 4 wonderful, magical children, or was it something that was coming from you from a deeper space?
Yeah, I struggled at the beginning of my motherhood journey. I'm a bonus mom, and that brought some new challenges to my life when I married my husband, being a mom instantly. And then I brought in 2 amazing children between my husband and I. And so at the beginning, I had so many pressures and so many expectations that I had put on myself that I didn't even enjoy being a mom. I'm like, this is not anything I thought I was going to be. You know what I mean? And from that, I realized that, man, and I had a moment where I literally was sitting in the driveway of my house, and I didn't want to go into the house. I was like, I don't want to get out of this car. I just got off of work, and I hated my job at the time too, which is a whole other story. And I just didn't want to get out of the car, and I was like, God, this can't be what you meant for me. This can't be what it's supposed to be like. And I really had a moment where he was like, just let me lead. Just let me lead. And it was so free for me to just be like, I don't have to have all the answers. I don't have to do everything right. I just got to lead with love. And that's kind of my phrase I tell all my moms is like, just lead with love. When you make a decision and it doesn't work out the way you planned, did you do it out of love? Okay, let's keep it
Yes.
moving, you know? And so it was so freeing for me to have that moment that I was like, I can't be the only one that's feeling this way. I have to get this message out. So the more I start talking to moms just on Facebook or Instagram, and at the time I was a Zumba instructor. So through, you know, Zumba and connecting with the women, yeah, I know. It was just like, I'm not the only one. Let me see what I can do with this. And I've always kind of had like an entrepreneurial mindset. So I was like, let me see what I can make happen with this. And so from there, now we're in Hey Girl, Hey.
No, I love it so much. And so you actually have acronymed GIRL, because you don't spell it the traditional way. For those who are just kind of listening to this and haven't looked below and saw the show notes yet, you spell GIRL GURL, and I know it stands for something pretty awesome.
Yes, GIRL stands for Gorgeous, Unmatched, Remarkable Ladies. And I kind of coined that through my Zumba class. We would just say, hey, girl, hey, you know, just kind of a thing. And, you know, I'm a 90s, 80s baby, so I'm big on acronyms. You know, we learned everything with acronyms, right? So I turned everything into an acronym so I can remember it. And it just kind of flowed. And I always wanted women, whenever we greet each other, hey, girl, because that's something that we say all the time, right? Hey, girl,
Absolutely.
hey.
Absolutely.
I wanted to be even more than that. I wanted to be, you know, I'm acknowledging the gorgeous, unmatched, remarkable lady in you. And I'm celebrating her. And so it means so much more than just a hey girl to me. And I hope that this movement will go forth and other women will see the same thing.
No, I love it on every level. So something that you said that was interesting that stood out for me, because it was one of the ways that I would, you know, back in the day when we could stand on a stage in front of, you know, 500, 5,000 people. One of the things I would ask as a kind of an icebreaker is how many of you in the audience have sat in your driveway for 10, 15, 20, 45 minutes, not wanting to go into your house, not because you were afraid. You know, we always want to kind of rule out safety, right, as an issue.
Right.
Or a challenge, but not because you were afraid, not because there was anything horrible happening on the other side necessarily, but because you felt that there wasn't anything truly waiting for you on the other side except more work, more giving, more to do. And you know that you didn't have anything left in you to give. And I appreciate that that's also something that stands out for you, that you also experience in your own life, because it allows you to relate to other parents, mothers and fathers, quite honestly, that felt the same way. Like, you know, God, there has to be more than just going to this job every day that I may not necessarily even feel in alignment with. And even for those, you know, for the power couples that we work with, they love their businesses. They love the work that they're doing. What has happened, though, is they realize that they're still having them garage moments where they're sitting in their driveway or their garage or in front of their car nowadays, because of post-pandemic life that we're living in. I don't even know if I can say post, but I'm being wishful. You know, the goal is to be post-pandemic life. Now they're sitting in their offices, in their closets, their makeshift, you know, apparatuses that they've created so they can have privacy on their Zoom and Microsoft Team calls, sitting there with that same feeling of, if I go in the living room, if I go in the kitchen, soon as I leave this basement, I have to deal with more giving and more work. And it's not because you don't love your family. And it's not because you don't love your lover. You know, I call your person your forever love, right? You know, it's not because you didn't want to be with those people, but you were already emotionally drained. And you seeing the unmatched remarkability in that woman that also felt like that. And again, those few brave men that are listening, Victoria got something for you too, right? You know, like she can talk to that.
Yes, I do.
Exactly. That it matters when you can relate, because I will say, honestly, Victoria, with all the noise that is sitting on the internet right now, this content bubble that will surely break. And my husband said it first, I didn't, because of all of the noise that's happening. What stands out the most are people like you. When you stand in your truth and your authentic story, your reality of your why, and the how might look a little messy, getting, you know, your message out there, right? Because you are allowing love to lead and not getting too caught up in the tactics and the strategies to get there. Not that they aren't important. We need strategy, we need tactics, we need goals. but you're not overly focused on that. You're really ultimately trying to create intimate relationships with the women that you want to serve. That is what allows you to shine, so people can see your hand raising like, hey girl, hey, and they know where to come to. That truly matters, and I honor you for that, truly.
Oh, thank you. And, it took me a long time to get there. If we want to be 100% transparent,
Yeah.
for a lot of times I've always had a really big personality. And it's so funny because I see it in my daughter. She has a really, really big personality. And for a long time, someone, I don't know if it was in school or, throughout life, I was told I was too much. You're too much. You're doing too much. You're always doing this. You're so loud. You laugh loud. You sneeze loud. You do everything too much, too big. And for a lot of times I minimized myself because I didn't want to make other people feel uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and thank God, I've been delivered from that, right? Because I realized that I can't truly walk in my purpose unless I'm being 100% who I was created to be.
Yes.
Because my purpose was set up for me, for Victoria L. Parker, not anybody else. And so once I embraced that and I walked in that, I realized that people need to hear what I have to say and say it honestly and be transparent, because somebody is experiencing the same exact thing. My testimony is not for me. It's meant to help somebody else. And so if I'm not saying it, then they're not going to get it. And they're not going to be able to impact or receive it to help somebody else. Right. And so I walk really, I try to be so, like, what you see is what you get every single day. You know what I mean? Because that is my responsibility as a woman of God to walk in that and to be truly true, because we see it all the time. Like you said, the content, but we see the facades, we see the fake images and all. And then we feel like we have to live up to that. I have a 15-year-old daughter who we're walking through that with her right now, and what she sees and who she is, that struggle and having those conversations. But we do it as grown women. We do it as mothers. We do it as business owners. We feel like we have to be this certain type of person, and it becomes a lie. And it becomes too hard to uphold. And that's when we sit in our car like, I can't get out because now I got to figure out how to put this new person on or take her off. It's very important that authenticity is actually my number one core value for Hey Girl, Hey Health and Fitness.
Yeah, no, I'm 1,000% with you on all the layers of what you just said, because there are layers in everything that you just said. From feeling like an imposter in your own body, push business aside, just knowing that you have to separate so many pieces of yourself so your children won't be damaged by whatever you just encountered, that you're still fighting and battling within yourself or coming from work and the nonsense that you might have been dealing with. I always say there is nothing more exposing than entrepreneurship. When you become an entrepreneur, hunty, right?
Okay.
Like literally, like you didn't even know you had confidence issues in this particular part of your body, your mind, your spirit, your energy. You didn't know you had so much self-doubt, right? Like there were so many ways that entrepreneurship is like, oh, you thought you was perfect, Patty? Spotlight. Nope. Right?
Yes, and then social media just adds to it, all the comments. You like, don't read the comments.
Don't read the comments. It's so funny you said that. My husband and I were having a conversation a few months back, just about, when no matter what you're sharing, there's always some fool that wants to troll inside whatever you're writing. And you could have wrote something sweet and endearing like, just love yourself, and somebody got to say something, off kilter or smart. And if you really pay attention to quote unquote high profile people, they respond to about the first 12 comments or so, and then that's it. There's no more responses at all whatsoever. And it don't matter if they had 5,000 or 50. They respond to basically somewhere between the first 5 and the first 12. And that is it. And I see that that's on purpose, to guard themselves from getting sucked into that negativity warp. That's really easy, because people forget that although you are positive and beautiful and happy and smiling authentically today in 2021, you may not necessarily have come from that place 10 years ago. And if the wrong person,
I didn't.
Listen, exactly. And the wrong person say the wrong thing to push a trigger, you all of a sudden you find yourself being like, They don't know about the bottom in Vegas. They don't know.
They don't know about that North Las Vegas.
Exactly. She not Victoria. You done pulled out Vicky.
This is Vicky. You might get V. Lachey. Look, get the middle name.
Exactly. That's around you like, I've been a fitness instructor for a long time. You ain't had to see these muscles outside of work and you're about to catch one, right?
Right. Don't let this NBA fool you.
Exactly. We horrible and truthful.
Right.
Horrible and truthful. I would love to know more about why you chose fitness though, right? Like there's so many ways you could have went with this and you chose to work on inner and external health for women. Why, hey girl, hey, fitness? Why not, hey girl, hey, sex or love or, I'm picking on that for a reason, right? Flying from chandeliers, like all the things. Like, why did you decide to focus on it? Because if you do it right, you can have all of that, right? But,
hey.
Why did you, what pulled you forth for that particularly?
Well, I was obsessed at a time I'm a dancer. I've been dancing, a real dancer, like trained dancer.
I'm not no TikTok dancer. I get it.
Let me clarify. I did grow up in Las Vegas. I'm a trained dancer, and so dance has always been something that has been personal to me. It's actually a ministry of mine. I dance at church, and so I when I became a certified instructor, it was just a natural flow with health and fitness. But I noticed when as a fitness instructor and trying to help women achieve, weight loss and better health, there were so many other layers, so many other things that prevented them from focusing on their health and fitness, right? Because, between juggling, running the kids from soccer practice to taekwondo to before and after school and all the different and work and everything else, they couldn't even show up for themselves in the fitness realm. And so I started in fitness because it was fun, it was light, it was easy to connect, but transitioned into the accountability coaching and the time management because I realized women needed it, that you couldn't even focus on your health and fitness until you had your life and your priorities in order. To realize that you needed to set boundaries with your time, that you needed to establish and prioritize personal self-care and personal wellness. And so we work on that stuff, but then do the health and fitness along with it.
No, that makes so much sense because I do hear that from a lot of our married women, that's who we work with, the power couples and the married women entrepreneurs. We hear that a lot. One of the first things that gets pushed off the schedule altogether is their workout. Mm-hmm. Anything that actually allows them to refuel their energetic tank gets moved off because of whatever crisis, urgency, emergency that's coming from their family and or their business, their colleagues, their team members. And even on some cases, depending on where they are in their walk with God and their relationship, if they belong to an institution, their ministry, mm-hmm. all of that stuff goes on top of that. And before you know it, they're like, oh, I haven't actually did a push-up or a squat. Minus going to the bathroom in the last, 6 months, right? That might be the closest that they get to it. And it's one of the first things that they need to have. But then we hear the objections of, well, I'm not a morning person. Before I get to sleep, at midnight and I only have about 4 hours as it is, I can't turn off my brain. I can't, calm down the monkey mind that's chattering. So even if I were able to sleep for 7-8 hours, I'm not really asleep. So when I get up in the morning, I don't have the energy to throw on my sports bra and whatever it is else that I have to put on in my sneakers and go jump on the bike or hit the mat. How are you able to help support them when a lot of it is right here between their ears is the reason that they're challenged with, making that next step?
Every one of my clients, we do a time audit with them. And so what we do is it's kind of like a pain in the butt at first. Yeah. It's like a budget, right? So you need to know where your money is going before you can create a budget. We do the same thing. We need to know where your time is going, how you're spending your time. So for 2 to 3 days, I ask them to jot down everything they're doing every hour. What did you do? What did you get accomplished? And so we do that time audit because that helps us to see what we're doing, right? It helps us to account for what's happening. And then we'll move into, I'll say, well, what are your goals? So we'll talk about 3 to 4 every week, non-negotiable things that I want to get done every week. And workout is always on there. Journal time is always on there. Bible time is usually always on there. But then I also add a mandatory downtime and mandatory me time, right? So these are the things that we put on there. That's mandatory. You have to do it, right? And what we do is we put those things in first. Before work, before the kids, before anything else, we put those priorities that you set and that I've given you, we put those in there first. Yeah. And then we clock everything else out around there. I mean, of course, work is, whatever, you have a set work schedule, but everything, so it's mandatory. So then it goes on there. Now you don't have a reason because it's prioritized. You see it, we update it, we go through it, try this for a week, stick to it. And sometimes it takes a couple of weeks to get it and then we'll tweak it. Or, I had a lot of clients where, their kids were virtual and then now they're back in school. So we had to tweak it, but it's a living document. So and it's your schedule. So you have control of it, but it's so empowering when they see, first of all, I can fit it in. I see where I've been wasting my time. I can fit it in. And now I don't have to think about it. Now I don't have to plan it because it's already been done. And then you have somebody holding you accountable. Like, did you keep the promise you made to yourself? And then, it just makes it so much easier. So that's how I do it. And it's really, really practical. Everything I do is just really simple and really practical because as moms, as business owners, we don't have time to do a whole lot of hard stuff.
Simple, concise, clear. Not always easy because, that means changing your mind. And, that's one of the hardest things to do with an ambitious woman is to have her change her mind. Right?
We're ambitious for a reason. Listen.
Exactly. So true, which is why you need to make sure that when you're working with someone, they have been there, done that. And as my godmother would say, brought a t-shirt and a ball cap to that party before because they know it well. Okay, yes. Exactly.
Yes. Like when I did that's why I tell my girls when I do the timeout, I'm like, listen, I did it. It sucks. I know. Okay, we've already established that. Now let's make it happen. But it works. And then when one gets it and she has a win, she's like, but it works.
Exactly. And it does matter to hear that from your community too, right? Like where you see you're not alone. Because a lot of times that, especially if you're a married woman, a lot of us feel like, our husbands are our best friends and they're our lovers and they're our partners in so many different ways. But when it comes to some things that only another ambitious woman could understand, they're not necessarily the best person to relate to you. It's not that they're not willing to be open and to listen and to hear you, but they can't always relate to it. So when you have a community of other ambitious women, they could be in different industries. They may or may not have biological children, but they're mothering, they're nurturing, they're protective as you are. There's something powerful, and I'll use your word here, remarkable and unmatched about having another woman who has not only been where you were, but may also be going through it because the judgment fades away. And that minimizes the shame. And in fact, hopefully you can shake the shame because you know that you are literally in good company with someone else.
It's empowering. That's the number one thing in my community, just connecting and I get it, girl. I get it. There are moms in our group that are, have been on, some have kids they're prepping them to go to college. They just had college selection day on Saturday, right?
Yes,
we were seeing those posts in the group. And then we have some that, have raised their kids and they, they're all done. And then we have some that are just like, matter of fact, I have a girl who after her 40th birthday found out she was pregnant, so so we have,
girl.
Right. And then we have girls in there who aren't moms, who she's like, I'm just a dope auntie, and all of that, but all that we can learn from each other, we can glean from each other, we can just support and grow together and win together, because when one wins, we all win, and that's what I love when they're posting their wins and it's just like, yeah, I did this, I did that. And it could just be like, I walked around the block today. You're like, yes, girl, let's go. We're going to celebrate that because we know what it takes to just take 30 minutes to walk around the block.
1,000%. I have to give a shout out to Michelle Talbert Esquire. She is an amazing woman. The group that she runs is all about literally #WeAllWin. So whenever somebody says that, I'm like, yes, Michelle, yes. She's phenomenal, sister, amazing woman, powerful, and very focused on supporting other women. And to know that that is just going through the ether and rippling. Like, you don't know Michelle. You probably aren't even connected to Michelle, but those ripples are going out there. And there's so many of us that are out here willing to support one another. It makes such a difference in the world. I have to ask you, with all that you are doing to support everyone else, including your husband and your children and your business, and all the ways that you are standing up and standing firmly on your message, how are you giving yourself permission to pause?
Whew. So I used to be a notorious people person, people pleaser. I had a hard time just sitting down, being still. Mm-hmm. And I have realized that it's so necessary.
Yeah.
That even Jesus took breaks from people. Listen.
You preaching.
Jesus is good enough for me. So, I just had to realize that I can't keep pouring from an empty cup, that I need to be full, that I need to, when I realized, like, I would talk to my kids and I'm like yelling for no reason. And they're looking at me like, what just happened? It was a sock on the floor, like, we'll just pick it up. You know what I mean? Like, when I realized that the effects that it was having on me and my family, that I was like, you have to find something different. And so even just the other night, so funny, my sister needed a ride to the airport. And because, I stayed home with my kids since they're virtual school, and I'm at home full time with my kids. Thank God I had the opportunity when COVID hit.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, it is. And, but my sister needed a ride to the airport. And so I took her to the airport. It was about 10 o'clock at night. And so I texted my husband. I was like, so I'm not ready to come home. So I'm about to take the long way home and stop at McDonald's and get me a French fries and a McFlurry. I did that. And I called my girlfriend, who I enjoy talking with. So this is another thing too. I always tell my girls, you need 3 women in your lives. You need someone that can listen to you, someone that and give you really good, solid advice, someone that you can learn from, and then someone that you can laugh with, like someone that you can just laugh. And so I called my laugh with girlfriend, and I sat in my driveway of my house at my McDonald's French fries and my McFlurry, and we just laughed and talked. And so that's how, I just do things that spark joy. I dance sometimes. Sometimes I'll just turn on music and I'll just start dancing. Just finding things that just spark joy, and realizing that, how I feel after it's done, after I've allowed myself that space, now I can go create. Now I can go be a super dope mom. Now I can be an amazing, exceptional wife, which is one of my affirmations every day. I'm an amazing, exceptional wife. I can go be those things because I took that time to rejuvenate myself.
I'm here for all of it all day long, including the McFlurry, if I could actually drink it. I have all these allergies. God. But I can live vicariously through you, so it's okay. Yes. I saw you drinking the shake, and I was like, ooh, 10 years ago. Every calorie. Well, I mean, that's one of the powerful things about you running a fitness company. You're like, I know how to work this off, boo. So it's okay.
I can get it done.
You can. So how can people connect with you to get more of a hey girl, hey fitness?
Yeah, so on everything, on Instagram, Facebook, I am Hey Girl Fitness. Remember, girl is GURL. My website is heygirlfitness.com. Victoria Parker, if you're on Facebook looking for me in my personal page, but I'm Hey Girl Fitness. That's how you find me.
Oh, I love it so much. And don't neglect to check out all the things that lead to her community. Because remember, as wives, as mothers, as women, community is crucial for us. And I say this very loudly to those of you who are listening, who has hit me up, emails and DMs like, Naketa, I'm not a joiner. I don't do other women. Yes, you do. You've just done the wrong women. You need the right circle to circle around you. As Victoria said, you need at least those crucial 3. And I am positive that you will have them benefited you in your life and in your business if you join her community. So shout out to Victoria Parker for all the magical things that she is doing.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
You are welcome. Victoria, you have been a gift. I love our new relationship and the professional stalking that I will continue to do because you know I follow you on all your pages, okay?
Likewise.
I appreciate you so much. Oh, what joy, what joy. Balance Boldly listeners, what did I tell you? I told you this was a setup for all the great coming up. I mean, this is June. We got Juneteenth in a couple of days. You just had Father's Day. My husband just had a birthday. Victoria's husband just had a birthday. Like, it's all kinds of magic happening this month and every month going forward if you allow it. Because remember, as Victoria Parker has said, you are unmatched and remarkable, and you have to own that instead of pushing it away and thinking you are not worthy of it. I pray that this episode was everything that you needed it to be. Continue to go and grow with us. Make sure you follow us. We can't say subscribe anymore since Apple has changed the whole subscription method here. But make sure you follow, share, rate, and write reviews. If you have not written a review for the Balance Boldly podcast, make sure you do so we continue to rise and thrive at the top of the algorithm, and other ambitiously bold women and men can absolutely have access to these balance tools for all things work, life, and love. Until next time, I want you to continue to create your balance and create your joy, but remember, do it boldly.